bombing schools where girls attend. And in the chaos, one Pakistani man and his daughter step forward, demanding that girls have a right to an education. As in this New York Times video, media outlets wrestle with how to tell the story of events in Swat. They find in this young schoolgirl, Malala Yousafzai, an irresistible and compelling voice.
They cannot stop me. I will get my education if it is in home, school, or any place.
The world's attention is drawn to her, the surprising poise, the intense gaze.
Swat Valley!
In the months to come, her activism grows, and so too the risks. That fierce character will help Malala face the dangers ahead. Her memoir, I Am Malala, is released today. Hello, Malala. I'm Anna Maria. Pleasure to... We spoke yesterday in New York. When you say, I am Malala, it's not just any statement. It is a fearless answer to a question. Tell us the importance of that answer and that question.
On the 9th of October 2012, two Taliban, they were standing on the roadside, and they just stopped the school van. Then one of those boys were talking to the driver in the front seat, and one came at the back, and he asked, "Who is Malala?" He didn't give me time to answer him, and then he shot me. He fired 3 bullets. One bullet hit me, and the other 2 bullets hit my friends. And then the school driver took us to the hospital, and those 2 boys ran away. But now I say that I am Malala, and this is not only my story, this is the story of every girl who has suffered from terrorism in Swat. And I'm telling the story of not only one Malala, this is the story of every Malala in Afghanistan as well, because they have also seen terrorism. And none of us thought that a person would come and he would have a gun and he would shoot us. All the girls, they were shocked, and no one could even believe it, that what is happening. The bullet hit me in the left side of my this left eye, and then that one bullet went down through my shoulder, and then it came out of here through my left shoulder. So it also cut my facial nerve. That's why the movement of half of my face has been affected by the bullet. It also hit my eardrum, so now I can't hear through my left ear. Also, it affected my jaw. But still, I'm thankful to God that I'm surviving.
What was life like in Swat when you were growing up before the Taliban? Tell me what it was like growing up as a girl there.
Before the terrorism, before this bad situation, we were living in a paradise, and the tourists used to come to Swat, and Swat was like a paradise for tourists as well. People from all over the world came to Swat, and it was the best place to enjoy your time.
So you were growing up. You were a preteen, and you were also reading the Twilight books. Were you reading them in English?
Yes, because we started learning English from one nursery. So I read the Twilight, the first book, Twilight, and it was quite interesting. And like reading such books, that's people think that's not reality, but it's good because sometimes you just go out of that situation of terrorism and you just go to a new world. So it helps your mind just to go somewhere else.
You were listening to Justin Bieber.
I think everyone was listening to Justin Bieber at that time. His song like Baby and Never Say Never, that kind of songs. We could not dance with English songs, but we were good in Urdu language songs.
And how did life change after the Taliban came?
Like in the movie, something bad was happening in the movie of our life. The Taliban, the terrorists we call them, because they are terrorists and they are extremists. They started to misuse the name of Islam for their own personal benefits. They were doing this for their own will. They were not listening to others. They were just abusing the name of Islam. They blasted schools, more than 400 schools only in Swat. And if we look at the province Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, they blasted 1,500 schools. They also flogged women. They flogged men in front of people, in front of a huge crowd. They used to flog people. And they also kill people on small tiny issues like that man has a short beard. They just killed that man. The worst thing was that they were against the education of girls, and in the month of January 2009 they said that no girl is allowed to go to school. And at that time I said, why shall we be silent? Why don't we speak up for our rights? Why don't we tell the world what is happening in Swat? And I did not want Swat to be a next Afghanistan, because this is what was happening in Afghanistan at that time as well, and it's still happening in Afghanistan. But in Swat we said, let us speak up for our rights.
It's incredible to me that you and your classmates would still get up in the morning and hide your books and go to school. What kind of courage does it take to do that when so many other people wouldn't stand up to the Taliban and would stay home?
The first thing is that it shows the courage of women and it shows the courage of girls. We loved education, we loved our books. Before the terrorism, I used to carry a heavy bag to school and I used to learn every day, but I did not know how important education is until we were stopped, because I realized that the terrorists are against education, and especially girls' education, because they are afraid of it. Why are they stopping it? Because simply they are afraid of educated women. They are afraid of the power of knowledge. So at that time, we women said that we are not afraid of them. Even they are afraid of us. That's why they are killing us. That's why they are blowing up our schools. This shows a sign. They shot me. They are shooting other girls. They're killing people. It shows a great symbol of the cowardice. Like, it shows us that those terrorists who are killing people do not have the courage. They are not brave at all. They are afraid of the power of women, and it shows that women are courageous.
Do you think that if your father was not so outspoken, you would have been?
I agree, because my father was an example for me, and he's a great father because he says that I did not give you something extra. I did one thing, and he says that I did not cut your wings. I let you fly.
You know that we were all mesmerized by you speaking at the UN. I was wondering what was going through your mind as you got up to speak to all of those people and to the people beyond that room.
When I stood there, I could see more than millions, more than 4 and 5 and 6 millions of people. I could see the people of Pakistan who are suffering from terrorism. I could see the children of India who are suffering from child labor. I could see the people of Afghanistan who are suffering from the violence of terrorism. I could see the people of Syria and Nigeria. And that is why I said, Malala, speak up for their rights and for your rights. And speak up that education is the only solution for it.
I have something I want to show you. You have two girlfriends who were with you that day.
Oh, yes.
They were injured, and we went to see them, and they sent a message to you.
Shall I hold it?
Yes, you may.
हाय मलाला, कैसे हैं आप? जो अपनी सिलसिला जारी रखते हो, हम सब आपके साथ हैं, और शाजिया भी और मैं भी, हम दोनों आपके साथ हैं। हम सब पाकिस्तान की लड़कियां आपके साथ हैं। आप ये ना समझे कि मैं अकेली हूँ। हम सब पाकिस्तान की लड़कियां आपके साथ हैं, और आप जो सिलसिला जारी रखना चाहती है, इंशाल्लाह हम भी आपके लिए दुआ करेंगे कि वो आप इसी तरह से जारी रखें। थैंक यू मलाला। थैंक यू मलाला।
Oh, thank you.
Oh, well, I'm glad you got to see them.
I didn't know.
You know that you are nominated for a Nobel Prize. It's coming Friday. What's it like to be nominated, the youngest nominee ever?
It feels like it's an honor, and the thing that I can feel in Nobel Peace Prize is not like getting Nobel Peace Prize, but I can see like people have said to give Malala the Nobel Peace Prize. So when I look at the support of people, that is really important for me. It is really a great honor for me that people said give it to Malala.
You know, the Taliban shot you because they wanted to silence you. Instead, they gave you a bigger voice.
Yes, because they only thought that they would just silence me. But they wanted to silence one Malala, But instead, now thousands and hundreds and millions of Malalas are speaking, and they're fighting for their rights.
Thank you for sharing your voice, Malala.
Thank you so much.